Aboriginal TV, Channel 4, putting Aboriginal news first.
The Indigenous Economic Development Summit brings together 30 of the most influential leaders from the government, businesses, land councils and wider Indigenous community to discuss the most innovative solutions and effective strategies to drive employment and enhance Indigenous economic participation.
Whether we are people who live and aspire to do business on our communities on Aboriginal held land, or whether we are freehold landowners and just want to do business. So we have this whole range of considerations here in Australia for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. You know, so we can't just go out and do business. You know, if we have to go through a process of having to negotiate or deal with our land councils, which is you know, very important for those of us who are custodians or traditional owners of land, because if it's on native title held land or Aboriginal land rights held land, there is a process to go through. But nonetheless, this doesn't restrict us from doing business.
The Indigenous business sector contributes over $6.6 billion annually to gross domestic product and is an important component for increasing Indigenous participation in the workforce.
Our businesses are surviving after 3 years around 60 to 67%, or actually 67% are surviving. And when you compare that to the domestic market space, where about 60% are exiting of the same almost comparative type of businesses, then the work that we're doing with Indigenous businesses are quite impactful for young entrepreneurs, or even not so young entrepreneurs who are wanting to start their business. And the most important thing to come out of that is there's more than about 1,300 Indigenous people are being employed over that time frame and going forward. So we've underwritten these organisations or these enterprises to get started, to prosper and to grow and to become sustainable. And we have a business model that will continue to grow. The thing that will hold us back in both home loans and in small to medium-sized enterprises is both our human capital and our financial capital. We could do with more money, we could grow more businesses, or we could provide more opportunities. As part of our platform inside IBA, we have what's called the Indigenous Real Estate Investment Trust, where Indigenous businesses invest with us on property, and we have got a pretty good handle on our investment platform in that. In addition to that, we've also got what's called the Indigenous Prosperity Fund, which we established, and not only with our money, but Indigenous organisations are parking some of their funds with us as well, and that is on a combined basis growing quite well. It's managed by people who are basically, well, you know, they're very good at their work.
Aboriginal TV, Channel 4, putting Aboriginal news first.